Okay, imagine this. You're in a really profound sacred gathering, monks all assembled, waiting for something important, the recitation of their rules, the Pātimokkha.
Right, a key moment for the community.
Exactly. But the leader, the Buddha here, he's asked 3 times to start, and he just stays silent.
Until finally.
He finally speaks and says, the assembly is impure. So what happens then? I mean, how do you even find what's impure in this huge group, especially if someone's trying to hide it?
That's the central question, isn't it? It's about uncovering what's hidden.
So today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating ancient Buddhist text. It's the Pātimokkhaṭhapanakkhandhaka from the Kullavagga. And it's not just, a dry list of monastic rules. It's actually this incredible story. It shows how this community, which was built entirely on the idea of purity, really struggled with things like integrity, truth.
And yeah, the real challenge of trying to uncover the whole story when things aren't out in the open.
Exactly. So our mission today is to kind of unpack the wisdom from this story. There's a dramatic expulsion, a really cool analogy using nature, and this very detailed system they developed for keeping the community pure.
It's a rich text.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're in a place called Savatthi at the Pubarama Migarmatupassada. The Buddha's there, seated, monks all around him. It's the Uposatha day.
Right, and the Uposatha is this really important bi-monthly meeting. Monks come together, reflect, and crucially, recite the Pātimokkha. That's their core monastic code. It reaffirms their commitment.
It's a big deal, spiritually speaking. Sets the standard.
Definitely. The collective purity is essential before they can even begin the recitation.
So time's ticking by, it's getting late, and Ananda, who was one of the Buddha's closest disciples, he steps up. He asks the Buddha, please recite the Pātimokkha. The Buddha, silent.
Okay.
Ananda asks again, still silence. He asks a 3rd time.
And then the Buddha speaks.
Yes, and he just says, the assembly is impure. Pretty stark.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is how Moggallāna reacts. He's another key disciple there.
Right. What does he do?
He doesn't seem surprised or question if it's impure. He instantly gets it. He understands the Buddha means there's someone specific in the crowd, someone who shouldn't be there.
Ah, so it's not a general statement. It's targeted.
Exactly. And this is where Moggallāna shows this, well, extraordinary ability.
What, like a superpower?
Sort of, yeah. He mentally scans the entire assembly, like looks into the mind or essence of every single monk there.
Wow. To find the impure one.
And he finds him. And the way the text describes this monk, it's really intense.
How so?
It calls him corrupt in character, wicked in nature, impure in conduct, secretive in deed.
Secretive indeed. That jumps out, given our theme.
It really does. It continues. Not a true recluse, though, claiming to be one. Not leading a holy life, though, claiming to be. Rotten inside, oozing like a rotten seed.
Yikes. That's vivid. Not just slightly off track, then.
No, this is deep corruption. And that phrase, secretive indeed, is key, right? It wasn't just a mistake. It was hidden, deliberately concealed. So uncovering it was absolutely necessary for the group's health.
Okay, so Moggallāna finds this guy. What happens next? Confrontation.
Direct confrontation. Moggallāna goes right up to him, tells him 3 times, you have been seen by the Blessed One. There is no co-residence for you with the monks. Basically, get out.
And the monk's reaction?
Nothing. Just sits there, silent, stone-faced.
He doesn't argue or leave?
Nope. So Moggallāna then physically takes him by the arm.
Whoa.
Yeah, and leads him out, right out of the gateway. Expels him.
And only then, after he's gone.
Only then does the Buddha speak again. And he says, wonderful Moggallāna, amazing Moggallāna, that this empty fellow would wait until he was taken by the arm.
Huh. Almost like commenting on how stubborn hidden impurity can be.
Exactly. It's quite a scene. Imagine the tension. It really underscores that if something's fundamentally wrong, hidden away, it just stops everything else from working right.
It's a powerful lesson about facing difficult truths, isn't it? And how hard it can be to get transparency, even in places you'd expect it most.
Absolutely. It applies to any group, really.
So after this dramatic event, the Buddha doesn't just, issue a new rule. He does something really interesting. He uses an analogy.
Right, the ocean.
Yeah.
Which seems kind of unexpected at first.
Yeah, he draws this parallel between the Dhamma-Vinaya, the teachings and the discipline, and the great ocean. Why do you think he used the ocean? How does that help understand this idea of uncovering things?
Well, I think it's brilliant, actually. The ocean is something vast, powerful, but also has these consistent, observable qualities. Everyone knows the ocean. So by comparing the path, which can seem abstract, to the ocean, he's making these deep principles more tangible, more understandable. The ocean operates with this kind of inherent integrity, and that's the model for the community. It helps reveal the underlying structure.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he lists 8 qualities of the ocean, and each one mirrors something in the Dhamma-Vinaya.
Exactly. 8 parallels.
Let's walk through them. The first one, the ocean gets deeper gradually, right? No sudden cliffs underwater.
Mm-hmm. And the parallel is that the path to enlightenment, to liberation, it's a gradual training. You don't just suddenly get there. It takes consistent effort, step by step.
Like wading into the sea. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, second.
The ocean doesn't overflow its shores. It respects its boundaries.
And the parallel.
Disciples don't transgress the training rules, the precepts. They hold to them, even if their life is on the line. It's about discipline and respecting the lines drawn.
Okay, this next one seems directly connected to the monk getting kicked out.
Yes, number 3. The ocean doesn't keep dead things. It washes them ashore. It purifies itself.
And the community.
The Sangha, the community of monks, doesn't tolerate corruption. It identifies and removes individuals who are fundamentally impure, like that monk. They are cast out, the text says. They become separate from the Sangha.
Wow, that's a direct echo. So the ocean analogy isn't just poetic, it's illustrating the mechanics of maintaining purity, of dealing with the uncovered impurity.
Precisely. It shows it's a natural process, like the ocean cleaning itself. It's vital for the integrity of the whole.
Okay, number 4, rivers.
Right. Big famous rivers like the Ganges, the Yamuna, once they flow into the ocean, they lose their individual names. They just become ocean.
And the parallel for the monks.
People from all walks of life, kings, priests, merchants, laborers. The text mentions the 4 main social classes: Khatiyas, Brahmanas, Vesas, Sudras. When they join the order, they give up their old identities, their old names and statuses.
They become...
Sakyaputiya renunciates, followers of the Buddha, one identity, united in purpose, shedding old labels.
That's powerful. Unity. Okay, 5th quality of the ocean.
Its volume stays constant, rivers flow in, rain falls, but the ocean itself doesn't really get bigger or smaller.
Okay. How does that relate?
The parallel is nibbana, or nirvana. Many people might attain nibbana, reaching enlightenment, but the state of nibbana itself doesn't get diminished or increased. Its essential nature is constant.
That's a deeper one. Okay, number 6, taste.
The ocean has one taste: salt. Everywhere it tastes salt.
And the teachings.
The Dhamma-Vinaya has one taste: liberation, vimutiraso. Everything in it, all the practices, all the rules, ultimately lead to that single flavor, that single experience of freedom.
I like that. A unifying taste. What's number 7?
The ocean is full of treasures: jewels, pearls, gems, gold, coral, all sorts of valuable things.
And the Dhamma-Vinaya's treasures.
Are its profound principles. The text lists things like the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 4 right efforts, the 5 faculties, the 7 factors of awakening, the Noble Eightfold Path.
So these are like the practical tools, the jewels you use to gain insight.
Exactly. These are the valuable tools for growth, for uncovering truths within yourself.
Okay, last one, number 8, big fish.
Yeah, basically. The ocean is home to huge creatures, massive beings. The text mentions some mythical-sounding ones, even ones supposedly 500 yojanas long.
Whoa! And the parallel in the community.
The Dhamma-Vinaya is the home, the abode of noble beings. Those who have made real spiritual progress, stream enterers, once returners, non-returners, and the fully awakened arahants, the great ones of the spiritual path.
So these 8 parallels build this really comprehensive picture. And then after laying all this out, the Buddha says something profound. And udana, it's called.
Yes, and udana is like a spontaneous, inspired utterance. And this one is really key. He says, the covered is rained upon, the uncovered is not rained upon. Therefore, uncover the covered so it is not rained upon.
The covered is rained upon. Okay, that sounds symbolic. It clearly links back to the monk who was hiding his impurity, right?
Absolutely. It's a direct commentary. Covered here means hidden faults, things swept under the rug, secrets, unacknowledged problems, things deliberately obscured.
And the rain, what's the rain that falls on the covered things?
The rain is the negative consequences. It's suffering, defilements, problems that fester and grow because they aren't exposed to the light. It's the damage that continues as long as the issue remains hidden.
So uncover the covered so it is not rained upon is basically saying bring issues to light, deal with them honestly, be transparent so you can stop the negative consequences.
Exactly. It's a call for radical honesty, for transparency, expose the problems, to deal with them, to prevent that harmful rain. It's the core of uncovering the whole story for the sake of health.
That's a really powerful image, and it leads to a big change in how things are done, right?
A huge change.
Yeah.
The Buddha declares, effectively, okay, from now on, if the assembly is impure, I'm not reciting the Pātimokkha.
He steps back.
Yes. He tells the monks, you have to manage this yourselves now. If there's an offender present, someone impure, the recitation has to be set aside for that person. It pauses the whole ceremony until the impurity is dealt with.
So the responsibility shifts entirely to the community. They have to police themselves, essentially.
Right. It's a move toward self-regulation, self-accountability. The community itself must maintain its purity to even perform its core rituals. They have to do the uncovering.
But humans being humans, did that system work perfectly, or did people try to game it?
Well, inevitably, there were issues. The text introduces this group called the Chabagya, the group of 6 monks, kind of notorious troublemakers in the scriptures.
Okay, what did they do?
They were apparently impure themselves, but they'd sneak in and listen to the Pātimokkha anyway when they weren't supposed to.
Ah, trying to bypass the system.
Exactly. And then, when some elder monks noticed their misconduct and presumably called them out or tried to set aside the Pātimokkha for them.
They didn't like that, I bet.
No. They retaliated. They started falsely accusing innocent, pure monks and demanding the Pātimokkha be set aside for them.
Wow, weaponizing the rules.
Pretty much. Using the system designed to ensure purity as a tool for revenge or disruption.
So how did the Buddha respond to that?
He shut it down immediately. He explicitly made it an offense, a dukkha, a wrongdoing, to set aside the Pātimokkha for a pure monk without a genuine reason.
So you couldn't just throw accusations around?
No. This incident really forced the clarification. You need justification. It highlights how crucial it is that the process of uncovering is fair and based on truth, not malice.
Which leads perfectly into the next part, where the text gets really specific about what counts as justified versus unjustified grounds for setting aside the Pātimokkha.
Exactly. It introduces this really important distinction between actions based on rooted reasons, meaning grounded in fact, in evidence, and unrooted reasons, which are baseless false accusations.
Rooted versus unrooted.
Got it. And this sets up a, well, surprisingly sophisticated system for ensuring fairness. It's all about making sure you have the whole story, the true story, before taking action. It's not about hearsay or grudges.
So what kind of things could justify setting it aside? What were the rooted reasons?
The text lays out categories of misconduct. Things related to lapses in moral conduct, sila, behavior, vilayar, views, or even livelihood of jiva.
Okay, different areas of potential problems.
And it connects these to the established levels of offenses in the Vinaya monastic code. From the most serious, parajika, which means automatic expulsion.
Like the first monk we talked about.
Possibly, yeah. Down to things like sagadisas, which require probation.
Yeah.
Or less serious ones like pachittiya, patisaniya, dukkaya, or even dupasita, which is just wrong speech.
So there's a whole spectrum of offenses they're dealing with.
Right. But the key thing for setting aside the Pātimokkha for pausing the ceremony comes down to 10 specific justified scenarios.
10 reasons. Okay, what are they like?
They're all based on something concrete, either something seen, something heard directly, or something confessed. No room for guesswork.
Evidence-based.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So number 1, a monk who is actually guilty of a parajika offense is present in the assembly.
Okay, that's clear cut. If they're there, you stop.
Right. Or number 2, if there's an ongoing unresolved discussion about whether someone committed a parajika, the uncertainty itself halts the process.
Makes sense. You need clarity.
Then, number 3, a monk who has actually renounced the training, basically quit being a monk, is present.
Shouldn't be there.
Right. Or 4, an unresolved discussion about whether someone has renounced the training. Again, uncertainty pauses things.
Okay, what else?
Reasons 5, 6, and 7 relate to formal agreements or concord within the Sangha. If a monk doesn't agree with a lawful decision or rejects it, or if there's an unresolved discussion about that rejection, it shows a break in community harmony.
Interesting. So internal disputes could also pause things.
Yes, if they were serious enough to challenge formal agreements. And then the last 3 reasons, 8, 9, and 10, are really important.
Okay.
You can set aside the Pātimokkha if a monk is suspected of misconduct regarding their moral conduct, their behavior, or their views.
Ah, suspected. I thought it had to be proven.
Well, here's the crucial part. Suspected based on what is seen, what is heard, or what is confessed.
Ah, okay. So even if it's suspicion, it has to be based on tangible evidence, not just rumor or feeling.
Precisely. Seen, heard, or confessed. That's the standard. It creates this rigorous process. It's all about avoiding false accusations, making sure any action is truly about uncovering the real story to protect the community's integrity. It's like ancient due process.
That's incredibly detailed, but it doesn't even stop there, does it? The text goes further into the mindset needed before taking action.
Right. It talks about taking a stand. The Pāli term is attadani. Before a monk initiates any formal action, like accusing someone or setting aside the Pātimokkha, they have to pause and reflect on 5 critical things.
5 checkpoints for yourself before you act.
Exactly. And these, I think, are just timeless principles, not just for monks back then, but for anyone, anywhere, thinking about taking serious action.
Okay, what are the 5?
First, is this the right time? Is now the appropriate moment to bring this up?
Good question. Timing matters.
Second, is it true? Is what I'm about to say or act upon actually factual? Buddhist.
Crucial. Got to check your facts.
Third, is it beneficial? Athasedazunuko. Will this action actually lead to a good outcome for the individual and the community? Or will it just cause harm?
Benefit. Okay.
Fourth, will I have support from others who understand the Dhamma and Vinaya? Basically, is my position reasonable and likely to be seen as valid by knowledgeable peers?
So checking if you're on solid ground, not just going rogue.
Right. And fifth, and this one is really key for community cohesion, will this action cause division? Will it lead to quarrels, conflict, schism in the Sangha?
And you should only proceed if.
Only proceed if you've reflected on these and believe the action won't cause undue division. Unity is highly prized.
Wow. Think about that. How often do we, in our work lives, our social media interactions, our communities, how often do we actually pause and ask those 5 questions before we speak out or take a stand?
It's rare, isn't it? We react so quickly. This framework emphasizes reflection, truth, benefits, support, and unity. It's about ensuring that the act of uncovering something is done wisely, constructively, not just impulsively.
It really raises the bar for responsible action. Okay, so that's about initiating action. What about the actual confrontation, the reproaching part?
Yes, the text covers that too, under the term kodatukamana, which means one who desires to reproach. It lays out principles for both the person doing the reproaching and the person being reproached.
Okay, so if you're going to call someone out, what do you need to check in yourself first?
5 things, again. Before you even think about correcting someone else, you need to ensure your own house is in order.
Makes sense. Like what?
1, is my own bodily conduct pure? 2, is my own verbal conduct pure? Am I practicing what I preach?
Self-reflection first, okay.
3, is my mind filled with genuine loving kindness metta towards my fellow monastics, including the one I'm about to reproach? Or am I acting out of anger or dislike?
Check your motivation. Love, not hostility.
4, am I learned? Do I actually know the teachings well enough to make this judgment?
Knowledge is required.
And 5, do I have a thorough understanding of the Pātimokkha and the Vinaya, the specific rules involved? You need expertise in the matter at hand.
So it's about ensuring you have the personal integrity, the right motivation, and the necessary knowledge before you even open your mouth to correct someone. That's demanding.
It is. It establishes your moral authority to even engage in that difficult conversation.
And then how should the reproach itself be delivered? Is there a right way to do it?
Absolutely. The delivery is just as important. 5 guidelines for that too.
Okay.
1, speak at the right time, not the wrong time. 2, speak truthfully, not falsely. Stick to the facts.
Obvious but crucial.
3, speak gently, not harshly. Tone matters. 4, speak beneficially, aiming for a positive outcome, not just to tear someone down.
Gentle, beneficial.
Okay. And 5, speak with a mind of loving kindness, as we said, not with underlying hostility or ill will.
So even in confrontation, the underlying tone should be constructive and compassionate.
Exactly. The text explicitly states the underlying intention should be compassion, wanting what's best for the other person, sympathy, helping them overcome their fault, and ultimately upholding the integrity of the Vinaya, the shared discipline.
It reframes correction entirely. It's not about punishment, is it?
Not primarily. It's about restoration. Restoring the individual, restoring the harmony and integrity of the community. It's a guide for having those tough talks in a way that aims for healing and truth, uncovering the whole story with compassion.
And what about the person being reproached? What's their role?
Their duty, according to the text, is to stand firm in 2 things. Truthfulness, acknowledging what is true, and unshakability, meaning not being defensive or crumbling, but engaging with the process honestly.
Wow. Okay, so we started this deep dive with this dramatic silence, a hidden problem in the assembly.
The impure monk.
And we've seen how that led to this incredible ocean analogy explaining the principles of purity and order.
Right, and the expulsion itself.
And into this really complex ethical framework they built. Rules for how to pause the ceremony, how to justify accusations, how to reflect before acting, and even how to conduct the confrontation itself.
It's an amazingly detailed system for maintaining community integrity.
Yeah, it really shows how seriously they took this idea of uncovering the covered, making sure things were brought into the light, but doing it justly and compassionately for the health of everyone.
Absolutely. And the wisdom in this ancient text, it really does resonate today, doesn't it?
It really does, which brings us to that final thought for you, the listener.
Thinking about this idea of covered versus uncovered, what aspects in your own life, maybe in your relationships, your workplace, your community, what might be covered right now?
Yeah, what hidden issues or unacknowledged truths might be preventing growth or causing that metaphorical rain to fall, causing problems or suffering?
And how could embracing some of these ancient principles, really focusing on truth, but also on compassion, on careful examination of yourself and the situation, how might that help you foster a clearer, maybe a more harmonious environment?
It's a challenge, for sure, but this is living with integrity and having the courage to bring things into the light, uncovering the whole story,